Today we're talking about solving systems of equations by using elimination. We've already talked about solving them graphically and solving them using substitution. This is just one more way to solve a system. So if we're looking at the two equations right here, we can see that we have opposite coefficients for the x's. So opposite coefficients just means if one of them is -4, then the other one is 4. If one of them is 8, the other one would be -8, and so on. So that's our goal, to get opposite coefficients so that we can eliminate one of the two variables. So all we're going to do is add these two equations together. And when we do that, we can see that the x terms go away. We're going to add the coefficients for the y's, and we get 6y equals -36. And we're just going to solve for y from here. So y is -6. Remember, when we solve a system of equations, the solution is an ordered pair. It's where the two lines cross. So this is half of the solution. We have to now find the other half. So we can use either of the two original equations and substitute the value for y to find our x value. So I'm just going to take the first equation here and substitute in for y. And solve. So I have -4x equals -24. Divide both sides by -4. So x is 6. Excuse me. Remember, when you write your solution, write it as an ordered pair with parentheses. Make sure you put your x value first and your y value second. So you can certainly use either of the two other ways we talked about to solve this system. You could solve for y in both equations and solve it graphically, or you can just solve one of them for x or y and solve it by using substitution. But for this particular example, elimination is probably the easiest way to go. Here's another example. And again, if we're using elimination, we really want opposite coefficients for one of the two variables. So if we're looking at the y's right here, both y terms, we can see that one of the coefficients is -1 and the other coefficient is a +1. That's our ultimate goal when we're using elimination. It's not always going to be set up this way, and when we're in class, we're going to talk about what to do in that case. But for now, let's just take a look at when it's already set up like this. So we're going to add the two equations together. The y terms cancel each other out because it's -1y plus 1y, so that would be 0y. So the y's go away, and we're going to add the x terms together, which would be 3x, and we're going to add the numbers together, which would be 30. And then we're just going to solve for x. So x equals 10. Again, we have to find the other half of the solution. Take either of the two equations. I would take the one on top because that looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. And substitute in for x. And solve. I'm going to divide both sides by -1 to get a positive y. So y equals -1. Again, make sure you write it as an ordered pair for your solution. Here's one more for you to try, and we'll continue this discussion in class.